The time traveler hypothesis, also known as the chrononaut UFO or extraterrestrial model, proposes that unidentified flying objects are actually humans from the future using advanced technology to travel back in time. While the idea of time travel has been explored in literature since the 19th century, the specific notion of future humans piloting UFOs gained traction in the late 20th century through various books, articles, and television programs. Proponents of the hypothesis argue that the often humanoid appearance of alleged UFO occupants and abductors suggests a link between present-day humans and our future descendants. They also point to certain UFO sightings and incidents, such as the Rendlesham Forest case, as potential evidence of time travel. The hypothesis has been popularized by figures like anthropology professor David S. Anderson, journalist Nick Pope, and biological anthropologist Dr. Michael P. Masters, who has explored the concept in depth in his books and publications. Masters has examined various aspects of the theory, including potential future developments in human anatomy and possible motivations for time travel, such as historical interest or tourism. The time traveler hypothesis has also been featured in popular culture, including TV series, novels, and films like Official Denial, Sphere, and Interstellar. In these works, the idea of UFOs being time machines from the future is often presented as a surprising twist or revelation. Critics of the hypothesis, including astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson and UFO skeptic Robert Schieffer, consider it pseudoscientific and illogical, arguing that there is little credible evidence to support the existence of UFOs as extraterrestrial or extratemporal phenomena. They also point out the inherent difficulties and paradoxes associated with time travel. Despite the skepticism, the time traveler hypothesis remains a fascinating and persistent concept in the realm of ufology and science fiction. It continues to capture the imagination of those who ponder the possibilities of advanced technology, the future evolution of humanity, and the potential for traversing the boundaries of time. While mainstream science regards the hypothesis as highly implausible, its enduring presence in popular culture and fringe theories underscores our collective fascination with the mysteries of the universe and the tantalizing prospect of unraveling the secrets of time itself. Whether viewed as a thought-provoking exercise or an improbable explanation for unexplained aerial phenomena, the time traveler hypothesis remains an intriguing and controversial topic in the ongoing debate surrounding UFOs and the nature of reality. The tooth phone is a prototype radio device designed to fit inside a human tooth and provide covert mobile phone communications. It currently consists of a digital radio receiver that converts radio signals into sound and a tiny vibrating component, which conveys sound to the wearer's inner ear through bone vibrations. The device would only be audible to its wearer. Inventors James Auger and Jimmy Loiseau of the Royal College of Art in London say the tiny receiver could be configured to receive sound from an external device, such as a mobile phone, a radio, or a computer. They also say it would be relatively simple to fit the gadget with a microphone to allow it to return a radio signal to another device. Sound conveyed from the tooth phone would only be audible to the wearer, so Auger and Loiseau believe it could have a wide range of applications, from people who want to listen to stock information to traffic data. The device is currently wired to a battery, but power could be generated by an electromagnetic microgenerator embedded in the tooth. It would be powered as people eat, speak, or wiggle their heads. The Toronto Protocol is a collection of various accounts that allege a secretive plan to manipulate and control the world. In 1967, in Toronto, Canada, the quote 666, top leaders from major global banks, energy groups, and agri-food conglomerates gathered to solidify their grip on global power. We come to find a disturbing plan on the table: the creation of a world society of leisure. This scheme involves promoting activities like sex, drugs, sports, and travel to distract us from societal decay. The agenda is to break down families, blur class lines, and foster a dependency on a centralized authority. They aim to achieve this by infiltrating media, fashion, and culture, and even implementing offices for the protection of children to strip parents of their rights and mold the next generation to fit their agenda. The text outlines a plan to create a new world order through the breakdown of moral and religious values and the promotion of sexual freedom, divorce, and abortion. The plan includes infiltrating feminist movements, encouraging drug use and self-removal, and creating a new middle class that will eventually be removed. The plan involves infiltrating all levels of society, including politics, economics, education, and social policy, to establish a centralized government and eliminate individual responsibility. The plan also includes buying or eliminating individuals who may pose a threat to the New World Order and ensuring control over all international organizations. The Toronto Protocol was from Serge Monist, who also introduced the world to Project Bluebeam, and met a very coincidental and untimely demise before seeing to it that his messages were shared. Tower Hill Road in Cumberland, Rhode Island is said to be haunted by strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions. According to local legends, people have reported seeing strange lights appearing at night along the road. There are also tales of a ghostly child walking a dog. The town of Cumberland itself has a long history dating back to 1635, and was formerly known for its iron works. Several other locations in Cumberland are also rumored to be haunted, such as the public library and an old monastery. Some attribute the paranormal activity to the ghosts of Native Americans killed during the French and Indian War. Visitors to Tower Hill Road have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of heaviness and anxiety. One account describes seeing shadows in the distance and feeling a sense of paranoia, as if being watched. Although the road is only about a mile long, the eerie atmosphere can make it feel much longer. The Toynbee Tiles are mysterious messages found embedded in the asphalt of streets in about 24 major cities in the United States and 4 South American cities. Since the 1980s, several hundred tiles have been discovered, generally about the size of a license plate, containing cryptic inscriptions that mention Toynbee, the movie 2001, and resurrecting the dead on planet Jupiter. Some tiles also feature political statements, or encourage readers to create and install similar tiles. The material used to make the tiles was initially unknown, but evidence suggests they may be made primarily of layers of linoleum and asphalt crack-filling compound. The creator of the tiles is unknown, but there are several theories about their origin and meaning. One theory is that Toynbee refers to the 20th century historian Arnold J. Toynbee, who wrote about the idea of reconstituting life on Jupiter, a concept similar to the plot of the film 2001, A Space Odyssey. Another theory links the tiles to a short story called The Toynbee Convector by Ray Bradbury, which suggests humanity must strive for goals beyond what is practically possible in order to survive. Some people have claimed to be the creator of the tiles, such as a Philadelphia carpenter named James Marasco, but the true identity and motive of the tiler remains a mystery. While some cities consider the tiles to be vandalism and remove them, others recognize them as a unique form of street art. The tiles have captured the attention of the media and the public, inspiring documentary films and intriguing people around the world with their enigmatic messages. The infamous Track 61 is an abandoned subway station located beneath the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Manhattan, New York, that is allegedly still used as a secret escape train for presidents visiting the city. Built along with the rest of Grand Central Terminal, Track 61 was actually constructed to be a powerhouse and storage area for unused New York Central Railroad cars, not a passenger station, and is part of the Metro North Railroad system, not the NYC subway. The station itself is not much to look at, with untended grime and dirt, but there is an antique train car permanently parked in the hidden powerhouse. The earliest reported use of Track 61 was during the tenure of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who supposedly had his car transported to the station and lifted directly into the Waldorf's garage, possibly to hide his worsening case of polio. It is rumored that Track 61 has hidden the comings and goings of a number of presidents over the years, and was confirmed to be prepped as a quick getaway route for George W. Bush while he took meetings at the Waldorf. Various military generals and celebrities have also been said to use Track 61 for clandestine movements, though the secrecy involved makes these claims hard to confirm. However, the presence of an unmarked brass door at the Waldorf street level, leading to the station, suggests that someone important is indeed still making use of this hidden track. Views on gender and gender roles are evolving around the world, with traditional notions being challenged and expanded. In many societies, gender roles were historically rigid and binary, with men expected to be breadwinners and women expected to handle domestic responsibilities. However, feminist movements and changing economic realities have pushed back against these traditional stereotypes. It's increasingly common and accepted for women to pursue careers outside the home and for men to take on more household and childcare duties. Same-sex relationships and households have also gained greater visibility and legal recognition in many countries. More attention is being paid to the experiences of transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming individuals. The idea that gender is a spectrum rather than a rigid binary is gradually becoming more mainstream. However, progress is uneven, with attitudes and laws varying widely between countries and cultures. More conservative societies tend to cling to traditional gender roles, while more progressive cultures increasingly reject gender stereotypes as outdated and limiting. The internet and social media have globalized the conversation around evolving gender norms. Younger generations are increasingly likely to express egalitarian attitudes about gender and to reject restrictive gender stereotypes. However, pushback against changing gender roles remains common, often driven by religious or cultural beliefs. The evolution of gender roles is an ongoing process shaped by complex social, economic, and political forces. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, also known as the Weston State Hospital, was a psychiatric hospital located in Weston, West Virginia, that operated from 1864 until 1994. Designed by architect Richard Snowden Andrews utilizing the Kirkbride plan, the construction of the massive stone building began in 1858, but was interrupted by the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861. The hospital was originally designed to accommodate 250 patients, but by the 1950s, it was severely overcrowded with 2,400 patients living in poor conditions. Patients were admitted to the asylum for a wide variety of reasons, including mental illness, but also for conditions like asthma, laziness, egotism, and even greediness. The lack of proper care and sanitation led to a large number of patient deaths at the asylum over the years, with some estimates suggesting the number could be in the tens of thousands. In the early 1950s, the hospital was the site of the West Virginia Lobotomy Project, an effort by the state and Walter Freeman to use lobotomy to reduce the patient population. By the 1980s, patient numbers had decreased due to changes in mental health treatment, but those who remained were sometimes kept in cages. After closing in 1994, the hospital sat vacant for years, until it was sold at auction in 2007, and reopened as a tourist attraction offering historical and paranormal tours. The main building, known as the Kirkbride, now houses a museum with artifacts and exhibits related to the hospital's history, including patient artwork, medical equipment, and items like straitjackets and hydrotherapy tubs. Visitors can take guided tours of the hospital, led by staff dressed in period-appropriate nurse uniforms, to explore the various floors, rooms, and areas like the morgue and operating room, while learning about the facility's troubled past. In the vastness of our universe, which seems perfectly suited for life to emerge, the apparent absence of advanced alien civilizations is a perplexing mystery known as the Fermi paradox. One intriguing theory that attempts to explain this cosmic conundrum is the Transcension hypothesis, proposed by futurist John Smart. This theory suggests that instead of expanding outward into the cosmos, where we might easily detect their presence, technologically advanced civilizations turn inward, creating vast digital realities within increasingly small and powerful computer systems. The release of the highly anticipated video game No Man's Sky lends some credibility to this idea, as it demonstrates the potential for crafting immersive, universe-sized digital worlds. Boasting an astonishing 18 quintillion planets, each with its own unique ecosystems and life forms, the game's map is so expansive that exploring every planet for just 1 second would take longer than the remaining lifespan of our own sun. What makes No Man's Sky even more fascinating is that its creators utilized procedural generation, meaning the game's content was largely built by algorithms and fractal math, rather than human designers, resulting in a universe full of unknown wonders waiting to be discovered. While the game may have fallen short of some expectations, it hints at the possibilities that lie ahead, as we continue to develop increasingly sophisticated virtual realities. It's conceivable, then, that our technologically advanced alien neighbors might have foregone the challenges of interstellar travel in favor of creating their own universe-sized digital realms, much like the ones we're beginning to build today. This could potentially explain why we have yet to encounter any concrete evidence of their existence, as they may have transcended our physical reality altogether, opting to explore the boundless frontiers of their own virtual worlds instead. The core idea behind transhumanism is using technology to enhance the human condition, extending longevity, improving cognitive abilities, and increasing overall well-being. Transhumanists believe that through the development of sophisticated technologies like nanotechnology, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and methods like mind uploading, humans will eventually be able to transcend current physical and mental limitations, potentially even achieving post-human states of existence. However, transhumanism is not just focused on individual enhancement. Many transhumanists also emphasize using these technologies to reduce global issues like poverty, disease, and malnutrition. The movement has roots dating back to the early 20th century, with visionaries like geneticist J.B.S. Haldane and evolutionary biologist Julian Huxley, who first used the term transhumanism in 1957, speculating about the vast potential of applied sciences to improve the human condition. As technologies have advanced over the decades, transhumanist ideas have continued to evolve, with modern transhumanism emerging in the 1980s and 1990s through the work of philosophers and futurists like FM 2030, Max More, and Natasha Vita-More. Today, transhumanism encompasses a wide range of approaches and perspectives, from the radical life extensionists and immortalists who seek to defeat aging and death, to more moderate positions focused on gradually improving human capabilities within the bounds of liberal democratic societies. Critics of transhumanism raise concerns about the ethical implications of radically altering human biology, the potential for worsening inequality if enhancement technologies are not evenly distributed, and the risk of these powerful tools being misused by authoritarian regimes or rogue actors. Some also argue that the drive to fundamentally alter or improve the human condition reflects a kind of dissatisfaction or disconnection from our essential humanity. Nonetheless, as the march of technological progress continues, the questions and possibilities raised by transhumanism are likely to become increasingly relevant and hotly debated in the years to come. Researchers from Linköping University and the KTH Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden have created the world's first electrical transistor made from wood, a breakthrough that could pave the way for new advancements in wood-based electronics and the control of electronic plants. Transistors, which are commonly used to regulate the flow of electric current in modern electronic devices, are typically manufactured at a nanoscale level using non-organic materials. However, the Swedish researchers have developed a unique method for creating a functional transistor using balsa wood, a grainless and evenly structured type of wood. To create the wood transistor, the team first removed the lignin from the balsa wood, leaving behind long cellulose fibers with channels where the lignin had been. These channels were then filled with a conductive plastic polymer called PEDOT PSS, resulting in an electrically conductive wood material that could be used to build the transistor. The wood transistor has been shown to regulate electric current and provide continuous function at a selected output level, as well as switch power on and off, albeit with a slight delay of a few seconds. While the wood transistor is slower and bulkier than traditional transistors, it has significant potential for future development and could potentially tolerate higher currents than regular organic transistors. The researchers emphasize that the creation of the wood transistor was driven by curiosity and the desire to explore new possibilities rather than any specific application in mind, and they hope that their findings will inspire further research in this area. Trepanning, also known as trepanation, is a surgical procedure that involves drilling or scraping a hole into the human skull, exposing the dura mater to treat health problems related to intracranial diseases or relieve pressure from an injury. Evidence of trepanation has been found in prehistoric human remains dating back to the Neolithic era, making it one of the oldest known surgical procedures, and it was practiced in many parts of the world, including Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Americas. In ancient times, trepanation may have been performed for spiritual reasons, such as releasing evil spirits believed to cause abnormal behavior, as well as for medical purposes like treating head injuries, epilepsy, and mental disorders. The procedure was performed using tools made of flint, obsidian, or metal, and involved methods such as drilling, cutting, or scraping the skull to create an opening. While the reasons for trepanation varied across cultures and time periods, the practice persisted into the classical, medieval, and Renaissance eras, with famous physicians like Hippocrates and Galen providing detailed instructions on the procedure. In modern neurosurgery, trepanation, now more commonly referred to as a craniotomy, is used to treat epidural and subdural hematomas and to access the brain for various surgical procedures, with advanced imaging techniques and specialized tools minimizing risks. However, some individuals and groups have also advocated for and practiced voluntary trepanation for alleged psychological benefits, such as achieving a higher state of consciousness or treating depression, though these claims are not supported by scientific evidence. Despite the risks associated with trepanation, which include brain damage, infection, and death, archaeological evidence suggests that many individuals in ancient and pre-modern societies survived the procedure, with varying degrees of success and complications. The myth that trepanation was commonly used to treat headaches in ancient times has been perpetuated by misinterpretations and speculation, but there is no credible evidence to support this notion. In recent years, there have been rare instances of individuals performing self-trepanation for various reasons, including attempts to achieve altered states of consciousness or to conduct unconventional research, highlighting the ongoing fascination with this ancient practice, despite its lack of scientific basis and significant risks. The Trolley Problem is a series of thought experiments in ethics, psychology, and artificial intelligence that involve hypothetical moral dilemmas about sacrificing one person to save a larger number of others. The classic scenario, known as the switch case, presents a situation where a runaway trolley is barreling down the tracks towards 5 people who are tied up and unable to move. You, as a bystander, have the option to pull a lever that will divert the trolley onto a side track, where it will kill 1 person instead of 5. The dilemma lies in whether it is more ethical to actively cause 1 death by pulling the lever, or to passively allow 5 deaths by doing nothing. Variations of the trolley problem have been created to explore different aspects of moral decision-making, such as the Fat Man case, where the only way to stop the trolley is to push a large person onto the tracks, using their body to stop the trolley. These thought experiments highlight the differences between 2 main approaches to ethics: deontological, which focuses on the inherent rightness or wrongness of actions, and consequentialist, which judges actions based on their outcomes. Empirical research using trolley problems has investigated various factors that influence moral judgments, such as emotional state, brain damage, and levels of anonymity. However, the use of trolley problems as a measure of utilitarianism, and their applicability to real-life moral situations has been criticized by some researchers and philosophers. In recent years, the trolley problem has gained relevance in discussions about the ethics of autonomous vehicles, as these machines may need to make split-second decisions that prioritize certain lives over others in unavoidable collision scenarios. Despite the criticisms and limitations of the trolley problem, it remains a popular tool for exploring the complexities of moral decision-making and has contributed to the ongoing debate about the nature of ethics and the role of technology in shaping our moral landscape. A tulpa is a concept originating from Tibetan Buddhism, referring to a materialized being or thought form that is created through spiritual practice and intense concentration. The idea was later adapted by 20th century theosophists, who interpreted tulpas as thought forms that could be created and take on various shapes and characteristics. Alexandra David Nail, a spiritualist who claimed to have observed tulpa creation practices in Tibet, believed that tulpas could develop their own minds and even free themselves from their creator's control. In recent years, the term tulpa has been adopted by online communities to describe a type of willed imaginary friend that practitioners, known as tulpamancers, consider to be sentient and relatively autonomous. These modern practitioners predominantly view tulpas as a psychological rather than paranormal phenomenon, often using meditation and lucid dreaming techniques to create and interact with their tulpas. Surveys have shown that many tulpamancers are young adults from urban, middle-class, Euro-American backgrounds who cite loneliness and social anxiety as reasons for engaging in the practice. Some practitioners report experiencing hallucinations and unusual sensory experiences related to their tulpas, with a small percentage even engaging in sexual or romantic interactions with them, though this is controversial within the community. Research has also found higher rates of neurodivergence, such as autism and ADHD, among surveyed tulpamancers compared to the general population. The tulpamancer subculture has been described as a way for individuals to overcome loneliness and mental suffering, with some practitioners using it in conjunction with reality shifting, a form of self-hypnosis used to escape into a desired fantasy reality. As an emerging phenomenon at the intersection of spirituality, psychology, and internet culture, the concept of tulpas continues to evolve and capture the imagination of those seeking unconventional ways to explore their inner worlds and cope with the challenges of modern life.